Hey, I bought a Chubby pod kit from S&S Custom Cycles. Got looking on YouTube to see if anybody else had posted an install. S&S's instruction manuals, the instructions are there, but as far as pictures go, they look like they took them at midnight at night, in the middle of a rainstorm or something. They're not very good. So, and if you're like me, you like to kind of get a look at, see what you're getting into before you actually do it. A little bit about the bike. It's a 2000 Yamaha V-Star 1100. Bought it about a year ago. Had like 4,300 miles on it. It had sat for almost 10 years. It did not run. Poured gas out of everywhere. The intake boots were loose. The exhaust was loose. There was, like the guy had messed with it or tried to, and just couldn't get it running, so he gave up on it. I did get it running, and it's got like 5,024 miles on it now, so I put a few hundred miles on it last year, but I didn't do any cleaning or anything on it. So I got it. Before I put the tank and stuff on, I figured I would give it a bath and polish some chrome and stuff. I didn't do it at all last year, and change the oil. Anyway, I figured I've already done the install, but I figured I would like point out a few things, and basically give you something better to look at than pictures on a printed out sheet. Anyway, this is the premium kit. Comes with 2 K&N filters. Comes with a chrome or polished aluminum breather. They could be black for all that matters, because by the time you put the tank on, you're not going to be able to see them anyway. Has a catch kit, little catch can for vapors with a little screw on the bottom. Funky little bracket. Goes on the right hand side of the bike, on the basically over the cylinder. I moved it back and forth. I left it loose a little bit to try to figure out where it would fit the best, and I think I got the best clearance and the ability to get to the drain plug halfway decent on the bottom of it to drain the stuff out. Obviously I tore the carbs all apart. What got me started on this pod kit was after I put it back together last year, I couldn't get one of the needles kept leaking, and on occasion it would just pour gas at a red light or whatever out the overflow tube. And so before I got on it this year, I was going to replace both the needles and seats. So I did that and got messing with a stock air cleaner, and the things weigh like 5 pounds. I'm like, man, that's kind of defeating the purpose of a jet kit or whatever. And they go into this contraption of hoses and stuff into this football size, and it literally is football size air box. And I just it's got to be something better than that. So I ordered the S&S kit after a little research. Ordered the premium kit that came with the extras. Couple little things. Let's see. I set it up for drilled stock. If you can get on here, YouTube, and find where they've done they take like a 2-inch hole saw and knock the baffles out, which is what I did last year. It sounds good. It's not too raspy. It's got a nice throaty rumble to it. Anyway, 147.5 mains. The kit comes with the 20 pilots, and I did 3.5 turns. So I figured mine is a little more than drilled. It's actually the whole back end of the exhaust is knocked out. So yeah, you just use a hole saw and drill it out and pull the whole baffle out, and they sound good. Anyway, another little tip that I can give you is the intake boots, swap them. For some reason, the front one is shorter than the back one, and they fit identical onto the carburetor and stuff. So you can reverse them and use the front one on the back, and it's actually shorter. It'll make your lower your air filter down about a half an inch to give you a little more clearance. They give you a little tube of like super glue. I put my boots on first. I test fit my filters first, and then it's like a rubberized super glue. After I was sure all that and everything was clean, I pulled the filter out. I run a bead of it around the bottom of the filter and stuck it in and put it in. Make sure it's seated to the bottom, because that's the only shot you're going to get at it, because it's going to set up like instantly. So that being said, that's just a heads up with that. Swap the boots around. You'll get a better fit, more clearance. And I left this kind of stuff kind of loose until I made sure I had everything packed up tight to where I wanted it. Comes with 2 hoses. This one goes back to this breather. This one goes basically to a connector down in there that they supply to you, which hooks into this, your stock one, which would go into the bottom of your football size air box. Anyway, they give you a little coupler. It pops into that. You can almost see it down in there. Yeah, right there it is, the little white square coupler. And they just hook together, and I ended up cutting off about 3 inches of this. I wish they had given me that one 3 inches shorter and this one 3 inches longer, but it's not kinked at the bottom. I don't like the angle, but it's not kinked. So I guess I'm gonna get it polished up, and I'm gonna run the stock air box back on it, just empty, just for looks. Some people leave it off. I don't see anything wrong with just putting it back on empty. I mean, if you had electronics or something, you could mount something like that in there, But anyway, we'll change the oil and get it polished up and put back together, and we'll fire it up, see what it sounds like.